there is also this interesting, again, encodement in the case. And the encodement in the case says, we do quality fish because of the way we process the fish. And we now have actually embodied that into this boat. So all of the fish that comes off of this boat is of our high quality. I would question whether that's real. I would also question whether that's really how you should define quality. I mean, we've all been to fish restaurants where some of the fish is great and some of the fish is not. And I suspect that their supplier handled most of it all the same way. Maybe the original person that caught it didn't. But I suspect that their supplier handled it pretty much the same. So maybe there's other quality standards they could be using. Maybe they could be selling fish of some standard under their name and then selling the rest of it off to their competitors to be resold in a different manner. Or ground into fish meal. Or given away to charity or whatever. None of those things are presented. Instead, what is presented as, what price point do we need to be at? And if we accept that we need to have a different price point, notice that if. If we accept we have to have a different price point, how do we react? So the lady was already allowed to frame the case. In the case, that framing occurred. Now why did that framing occur? Because she, outside of the case, has been through this whole cycle and arrived at a position. And the other people in the case have not been through a cycle. So they're encountering it for the first time and having to work their way through it. It illustrates the power of somebody that comes in and has sort of already got all their answers lined up. Unfortunately, it illustrates why a lot of people hire management consultants, because they want somebody to be sitting there that's already done this for them. But it doesn't tell you how to open the case up to other possibilities, to other avenues of dealing with the problem. And if you aren't aware that there's a cycle like this going on, you can't figure out where the trigger points are to get the rest of the discussion going. So you don't see, other than once raised at the very beginning when the guy says, how dare she take this one inventory question and turn it into how we're conducting our whole business? But they never come back to that. You don't really see somebody turning around and saying, why are we accepting your frame? The frame is there, and you just go on. And again, I would contend that that tends to be the way MBA thinking is presented as, he who gets to articulate the frame gets to capture the discussion, and we go on from there. And there isn't a lot of discussion of, how do I challenge the frame that's presented? Should I challenge the frame that's presented? And how do we get multiple frames going?